The next section is kind of the marquee area of the product, the INACSL standards, and I'm going to turn it over to Rebecca to speak about it.
So the lens changes a little bit in this next section, and I need to reinforce the idea that if we are using simulation to replace clinical, we need to be sticking to the guidelines established in the NCSBN study, the NCSBN's 2016 Simulation Guidelines for Pre-Licensure Nursing Education Programs, and then you need to do a check of your boards of nursing to see what they have described for you. And right at the center of those guidelines are the Anaxil standards of best practice. The OADN team recognized that many faculty forced into finding solutions to clinical may not have had any experience in simulation. So we took this as an opportunity not only to view the products through the Anaxil standards, but also educate about the standards when doing so. Again, not all of the criteria are reviewed, but they are mentioned, and you see here the red highlight where each criterion, it has an explanation of the standard. I also need to mention that if we could not find evidence to support a solid yes to a question, we marked it as no. At times, perhaps the simulationists on the team could infer the answer, but if it was not explicitly stated, we chose no as the answer. And then paying attention to the red and green, or the check mark in the X, we see that Kathy, our faculty member in distress, can quickly see that scenario-specific learning objectives are not included in this product, and that would be something that she would want to include in her simulation-based experience. So here we are with Criterion 3, and hopefully your eye was drawn to the red on the page. We can see quickly that this particular product is not designed for summative evaluation or high stakes evaluation. That's Criterion 3 format. Criterion 4 is scenario design. This product, you can clearly see that it meets the criteria in the standard. It has some type of report. There's critical actions that are identified, and content experts were used in the development. This is another one that we see all green, check marks, yay for Kathy. Criterion 5, we can see that there is physical, conceptual, and psychological fidelity, which is just a fancy word for there's that type of stuff to make it real. Often, if fidelity is robust or unique, you might find an additional comment to that in the summary. Criterion 6 is facilitated approach, and you'll notice here that it is mentioned, but we did not evaluate it because this particular criteria guides the faculty in their role as the facilitator of the simulation. And then we have pre-briefing. Now, pre-briefing is an expected element to SIM, but we chose not to review it because we found quickly that many products do not include this in their product. And you know, actually that makes sense because pre-briefing should be tailored to the experience, tailored to the facility, the faculty, the learners, and the resources uses. So in order to adhere to best practice, faculty are going to need to add a pre-briefing. Criterion 8, debriefing. Now, I expect this one to be an extremely popular point for faculty going through this review. Debriefing is a skill unique to simulation, although that skill can be used in the classroom, in post-conference. You can use it with your children. A person new to SIM will appreciate robust resources to assist them in the debriefing process, especially if they're tailored to the scenario or the case. And now your eye may have been drawn to the red areas or the X's. In this particular product, there are no faculty-specific guidelines to facilitate the debriefing, nor were we able to clearly identify the debriefing structure and theory. Now, this is an example of when the reviewers might have been able to infer that, but because we are appreciating that perhaps we have novice simulationists out there, if it wasn't explicitly stated, then we identified it as an X. And now for Kathy, though, she will need to be able to conduct her debriefing using her discretion to choose a methodology. And actually, some faculty might actually prefer that autonomy. Criterion 9 is evaluation, and I find this particular part of the standard challenging, and unfortunately, it is often overlooked. Simulation should include robust evaluation, and that means evaluation of the participant, the facilitator, the experience, the facility, and the support team. And here's another important nugget. We should be using a valid and reliable tool to measure outcomes. Another challenge for novice simulationists, but there are tons of free resources available to you. Here we have two sections that describe the support provided to our faculty and also for our students. And then finally, we have other features. And here we wanted to show whether these products mapped to QSIN, and then do these products map to NCLEX, because I know that's going to be a concern for many of you as you use these products and integrate them into your curriculum.